The headlines. The Ministry of Finance and Treasury announces efforts to address the country's status of corruption. The government is working on the revenue sharing bill. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock will be reviewing its agriculture extension services. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Andrea Maahanwa. The Ministry of Finance and Treasury has announced its efforts to address the country's status of corruption. Simon Tavake reports.
The Ministry of Finance and Treasury announces efforts to address the country's status of corruption as stated in the Corruption Perception Index. Minister Honorable Manasseh Sogavare told local media that his ministry will be developing a report to identify areas in which the country is said to be corrupt.
I think for too long, you may hear no more statistics, and it really is not driving him toward actions. I must say, yeah? You're correct. We are ranked out of 140 countries that are corrupt. I must say, yeah? We rank 104. That is very high. I must say. So in other words, this is very highly corrupt countries. Also, every important areas that them should move this country forward, there is corruption being involved. I must say. For that, we follow by driving from Ministry of Finance, as we say, because for too long, you may look no more at the statistics in him, and the attitude has been, I think, over now. One we were going to do is that we the directing officials of Ministry of Finance by directing Ogata for Ogata come up with him. Now this will report him. I want to know exactly which area now, which areas now Ogata section come up with him, or to look him now, or to say you may rank 104, which is very highly corrupt country. So we will look at those areas. And then we will come up with him, of course, approach cabinet and approach him, come up with suggesting what the measures where you may address him what the areas where I would say that you may limit force to him. That's why we are ranked 104. So
he adds, addressing these will also change the public's perception towards the country.
I think what I'm want to assure you may lawyers, but we don't leave him something here. Emotion. I think for the first time we'll just take this thing head on now, and we need to address him this issue of corruption head on. Emotion. So, yeah, I think that's Mr. say about that one. Any country that rank low that, not even some good policies like what perception. When people say, hey, rank 104, yeah. That means you go to street, but mobile bill out there, what outing go na. Before you receive payment of Ministry of Finance, several cut must go na. Before minister making decisions, something must go na. That's the perception that people by garam. Suppose you rank 104 in out of 140 countries, and that is not good for businesses in this country, and especially our efforts to drive development. Also, that kind of ranking is just not on, and we need to address head on. And by you need to tell them the world that we are addressing these things, and our aim is to reduce that ranking blaming. Go down if you make us in 50 concept. There will be some followed by stuff, but those one are blatant too much. You need to deal with him now.
Simon Tavake, SIBC TV.
The Government for National Unity and Transformation is working on the revenue sharing bill. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele announced this in his address at the Makira Ulawa Province's second appointed day celebration in Kira on Monday. He said the Ministry of Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening is now working on the bill. The revenue sharing bill is expected to provide a fair and equitable distribution of resources to all provinces. This is to enable provincial governments to carry out their functions effectively, to provide better services to the citizens. In his recent address at the Guadalcanal Province Second Appointed Day celebrations in Honiara, Prime Minister Manele highlighted that the revenue sharing bill is also part of preparation towards statehood.
On the issue of revenue sharing, as you have rightly said, this is actually a preparation for state government. The bill is currently with the Ministry of Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening. It is important to note that revenue sharing will come with more functions as well. This means that when provinces get more revenue, they will also take on more responsibility, such as operating clinics, schools, and meeting the salaries of nurses and teachers. This is just an example. Eventually, under the state government, each state will take on all responsibilities, except for a few, in terms of foreign affairs and defense, set out under the draft federal constitution. Each state will have its own court system. They will have their own attorney general, public solicitor, director for public prosecution, judges, magistrates, police commissioner, and so forth. Each province must therefore, as I've said, be ready in terms of human and financial resources. I believe bigger provinces, such as Guadalcanal and Western Province, could be ready by 2026.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock will be reviewing its agriculture extension services. This review is a component of the ministry's efforts to achieve its strategic goals. Eliza Kukutu has more on this story.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock will review its agriculture extension services to achieve its strategic goals. This will see the deployment of extension staff to all constituencies to support farmers. Minister Honorable Derek Wasi said that the recruitment and training of staff as part of the undertaking is ongoing.
That one, we also have a review of our agriculture extension service. We are looking at stationing our extension staff in all the constituencies to assist farmers with their specific needs. Yeah? In summary, with the strategic goals and planned intervention for the next 4 years, our ministry also look at recruitment and training, and the ministry is focusing on recruiting qualified personnel and ongoing training. And recently, MAL staff, they've attended some trainings in China, plant doctors also of Fiji National University as a continuous training.
The minister also announced his ministry's commitment to operate commercial rice farming in the country.
The ministry is also looking at commercialization of agriculture, and we know very recently we signed an MOU with the Jiangsu Academy of Agricultural Sciences for commercial rice farming. So we will start the commercial rice farming here in Plains, where you may get commercial rice farming in Matapona area. We have all the machines that stay with the Yumi now, and very soon we start implementing this one. So we are back into commercial rice farming and many other areas for research and development below agriculture playing in the country.
SIBC News understands the ministry is also finalizing its agriculture policy. The policy will oversee all activities relating to agriculture in the country. For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
Helena Goldie Hospital in Munda, Western Province, is facing issues related to the shortage of medicines. The hospital is said to serve a population of more than 20,000 people in the Western Province. Alex Tadamu reports.
The shortage of medicine is a challenge for staff working at Helena Goldie Hospital in Western Province. Acting Medical Superintendent for Helena Goldie Hospital, Raymond Dixon, told the local media that routine clinics have been postponed due to low supply of medicine.
Normally, time we got enough medicine or hospital or pharmacy. Me fellas have a clinics on twice in a week. Yeah, doctors' clinics on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's normal clinics for now. Now, since I'm learning about this shortage, we decided to cancel all the clinics. And when people get sick or if they get really sick, they can be seen by the doctor and by assessment done there and whether they should admit or take a medicine or go to house.
He explains the situation is getting worse to a point where medical staff must decide on whom should receive life-saving medication.
So it's quite really frustrating when you face with a situation where you need that particular drug and then it's not there. Or you need that reagent for whatever the procedure I'm needed for, or even normal saline, even all these things where should be available all the time in the hospital, time no stop. Man, me fellas have a rationalized go. Sometimes you up to a point where you look low age, usually not so good decision. Kind of say, oh man, yeah, I'm all man too much now. This will pick in low there, and I think by got more years to come. I mean, everybody has a right to live, yeah. But sometimes you meet in situation where you just have to make it. I have now the issues where we facing, yeah. And with this shortage of medicine, I'm not taking me for that to kind of point or somewhere. Yeah, you feel bad, some decisions you're making.
The majority of cases in need of medicine are patients with non-communicable diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure. Mr. Dixon advises people to practice a healthy lifestyle to avoid such illness.
We encourage people to be more preventive, do preventive measures. Talk about, balanced diet, healthy living, lifestyle. Because most of the sick that I'm using a lot of medicines, things, it's a lifestyle diseases, high blood, sugar, you can easily avoid them by live healthy, eat healthy. So I have now some measures me follow do. We follow rationalizing the usage of medicine, only given time when it's really needed. Me follow cancel them all the doctors' clinics. We don't stop people from coming. If they're really sick, they can come.
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
Guadalcanal Province is planning to establish a provincial hospital. This endeavor is among the priority areas for the Guadalcanal provincial government. Simon Tavake has more.
The Guadalcanal provincial government is planning to establish a hospital for the province. Premier Honorable Willie Atu announced this during Guadalcanal's second appointed day celebration at the DC Park. He said through the support of the government and its partners, the establishment of a provincial hospital will enable the distribution of healthcare services to the province's growing population.
One of the reasons, again, that we put forward as one of the big highlights for our policy is Guadalcanal Provincial Hospital. And I'm glad that the Minister for Health is here with us this morning as well. As I've stated earlier, the population in the Guadalcanal is increasing 170,000, and it's eclipsing Osembam Satwawinim population of Malaita. Honorable Prime Minister, in terms of health and medical services, my executive government plans to strongly pursue SIG through the Ministry of Health and Medical Services and partners for the establishment of a hospital for Guadalcanal Province. With the increasing population growth, the hospital will enable GPG to provide adequate health services to its people.
He adds it will also address issues of overcrowding at the National Referral Hospital.
The establishment of the hospital will also fulfill GNAT's health policy intention to decentralize health services to all the provinces. At the same time, it will also relieve the National Referral Hospital with its current issue of overcrowding, and at the same time provide better health services for our people. By yourself, the start will see Kamlo National Hospital. And National Hospital have no fit. So we would like this as one of our priorities too for the next 4 years.
SIBC News understands the establishment of a provincial hospital is among the 6 key reform areas for the Guadalcanal for Good Governance government. Simon Tavake, SIBC TV.
The West Areare Rokotani Keni Association, WARA, officially launched 2 books today. The books will be used by 13 stakeholders to assist 6,000 members across the country. Eliza Kukutu has more.
The West Areare Rokotani Keni Association, WARA, officially launched 2 new books in Honiara today. The Basic Leadership and Governance Skills and the Women in Business Stories, or Sisi Horerete books, are written by WARA founder Dr. Alice Pollard and her team. Speaking to SIBC News, Dr. Pollard said the aim of the books are to promote women's voices in the society.
It's me looking very important that we document women's voices and stories, because often okata once lo rural villages or even once lo honera, but okata kept to the private sphere. And so one way where you say taking voices for rural women or women even in honera but pisilo house is to put it into print. So, and this is how the women's voices can speak to us and tell their story of what they are doing, yeah? Because they don't often come to the public sphere or come to SIBC or social media. But they are doing a lot back in the village and also back even in the homes, Lohoniara. So, have one way of giving them the space and letting their voice speak to us.
The completion of the books were also made possible through the support of young women who are taking on leadership roles at Wara. Dr. Pollard say they see the launching as timely as it involves the engagement of young women.
Yes, me fella looking that Wara is aging, yeah, because those of us where me first start them coming, me go down now. So have the right time for the younger generation come on board. And me felt like for transitioning, yeah, like the older folks work closely with these young women and bring them come up so that they can drive the organization forward while me first time for us to slow down. So the timing is right for us to really get inclusion of our young women and women with disability to come on board and drive the organization into the future.
Australia supported Wara with the printing of the books through the Civil Society Strengthening Program. Australian High Commission Governance Councillor Nicole Smith said Australia is pleased to support civil society groups in the country.
Australia is really pleased to support local civil society advocacy groups ranging from all across civil society through our Civil Society Strengthening Program, which was stood up just earlier this year. As I mentioned, that's how I met Dr. Alice. This was really in recognition that Australia wasn't doing what it needed to do to support local voices, and really we wanted to hone in on women's voices. So as a result of a program that has just been stood up for 6 months, we really recognised that the 2024 joint elections were the prime opportunity to really support civil society to get their voices out there, speak out on their platforms on issues that mattered to them and to their members.
As SIBC News understands, the books will be used by 13 stakeholders to assist 6,000 members across the country. Eliza Kukutu for SIBC TV.
Communities on Simbo Island will be benefiting from a honey revitalization project in Lengana Village, Western Province. Alfred Pangepitu visited Western Province recently and filed the story.
Communities in Simbo Island will benefit from the honey revitalization project in Lengana Village, Western Province. The Pacific Horticultural and Agricultural Market Access Program, Farmer Plus, in partnership with the Gizo Women in Business, launched the project on Tuesday. Speaking during the launching, Blondie Akosia from the Farmer Plus says Farmer Plus is proud to support the project.
Farmer Plus is proud to support this initiative, marking our first venture into apiculture, the honey and beekeeping industry. Earlier this year, Farmer Plus partnered with Gizo Women in Business, a group of 100 rural women involved in honey production, to tackle the challenge posed by varroamide infestation in Simbo. This initiative aligns with our BQS strategy and aims to revitalize the local honey sector, creating inclusive economic opportunities for local communities and sustainable industry growth.
A once honey beekeeper from Simbo, Betty Lingisasa, said the honey project is a blessing to them to bring back what they used to enjoy in the past but later destroyed by Asian honeybee.
Lo first time mi fala garem honey and mi fala bara va enjoy too much ya honeybee ya bara va mi fala benefit lo hem. So time this wala Pharma Plus him come here, me bara happy too much for me wala starting by this wala honey where him destroyed by Asian bee.
Helen Betty, on behalf of the women in Simbo, says they are looking forward to benefit from the honeybee project.
This is launching honey him come back. Me with him or the woman in Simbo, me feel happy too much because this fala honey by benefiting me fala oketa mama, me fala we no gare waka, me fala no waka him fiti me fala at lo village level, him na for helping me fala side lo school fee and helping me fala save pem lele bit soap or rice or so for at the beginning for save kakai because this time slen or some hard Thomas but a honey him come him helping me fala.
Meanwhile, First Secretary Economic Cooperation Australian High Commission Mr. William Rowell says he is very pleased to see such collaboration on these projects which will benefit the communities.
In hearing about the story of Pharma Plus being here, working with Simbo for this period of time, I think it's really inspiring to hear of that closeness of how to think about how we can work in partnership with one another, to think about supporting local economic development here in Simbo, but across Western Province. But I think that focus on productive sectors, so thinking about cocoa, thinking about copra, thinking about honey, is such a great example of how we can help encourage and support local livelihoods here, especially the focus on the Women Association or Gizo Women in Business Association. I think it's such a positive and constructive example of really using the natural beauty and the natural commodities that are really unique to this part of the world to be able to capitalise and support livelihoods going forward.
The honey project is funded by the Australian and New Zealand governments through Pharma Plus. I'm Alfred Pangepitu for SIBC TV.
The Native Lens Film Festival, NLFF, will hold its first ever screening in Auki, Malaita Province soon. NLFF facilitated a filmmaking workshop for youths at the Malaita Youth Hub recently, which was funded by Mala Itolo. NLFF's co-founder and director, Regina Lepping, told SIBC News this is a major milestone for the group.
First time for me for Malaita province. It's a milestone for Native Lands for actually go out the province and run him screening. So all those past years, every October we have the film fest. And so tamifa golo Malaita, the idea is to run a workshop for the young people there were interest lo film, interest lo tell them stories through visual image. So me fala go dim that fala training. Last week no more.
The screening will showcase films produced by the workshop participants and capture their take on the theme Indigenous Education. Ms. Lepping said she is excited to see their creative work in the upcoming screening.
Next week, we'll be going back to Malaita and we'll be having our screening. So those teams where to come, they not participate in the workshop, bakota somwaka bloketa during screening next week. 13, 14, and 15, makimna Malaita Day. So they'll be showing the work and we'll be having a panel discussion where about to get for story too. Why I'm not going to do this for a film and how I'm relate to loketa. The theme of the workshop and films bakata mekemehem Indigenous Education. So we wanted them to try to use the skills of talanem and actually document him what na Indigenous Education him mean loketa. Because otbara come from home na a place where kata relate to the land, water and the culture and tradition. So there's so many ideas that come up with them, but they have to stick to one film. So that was a challenge to narrow it down. But I'm very interesting for looking what will come out next week. Yeah.
Meanwhile, President of the Malaita Youth Council, Philip Subu, said the workshop serves to empower youths through visual storytelling.
The filmmaking have a new industry where there's growing interest, and I think that skill is young people taken by also using not only for work within the film industry, but it's a important skill where young people have it learning and using in creating contents, creating videos and other stuff. Even in terms of entrepreneurship, business, marketing, so knowledge is for important knowledge and skill for young people.
Mr. Subu encouraged youths to use such opportunities to develop their skills in filmmaking.
Yeah, me encourage him, young people no more for utilizing what kind of opportunities at the same time come. Fortunate that native lands have come and now you will attend freely without by any fee for attending what kind of training or something. Quite expensive for meeting Silva. So important young people utilizing opportunity for doing good land. Yeah.
And now let's join Yan Kao Kui for the latest in sports.
Balanga Football Club is the champion of the Solomon Ports Guadalcanal Sevens tournament. The tournament, which took place over the weekend, was part of celebrating the Guadalcanal second appointed day. Balanga won the cup after beating Bullets FC by 2-0 in the grand final. Speaking during the prize presentation, President of the Guadalcanal Football Association, Leroy Siovi, thanked the clubs and sponsors who have supported and participated in the tournament.
Sponsors, representative of other sponsors, coaches, management of the team, players, under 14 teams, coaches and the management, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Guadalcanal Football Association, me here once again for say thank you so much for the response where you came towards this Solomon Island Ports Guadalcanal Day Sevens, where we respond positively for come and participate and compete in this competition. As we all know that this competition happen annual event. This is the second edition of this event, and we like for telling for every clubs that you keep on train and making this second of the day block every time for GFA by hosting this GD Sevens. As long as if team Lomi him stay back this committee, by still hosting this one. One of the things we like for highlighting there is one thing is the main idea of organizing this event is just to be celebrating the second of the day. That is the main idea of this one.
The event also included an under-14 competition, which was staged as part of their talent identification process to scout potential players to represent the province at the UMI Play Championship next year.
This under-14 event being for hosting aim just the talent identification and just for identifying the potential players for representing me Solomon Island UMI Play Championship that by achieved by hosting for Solomon Islands, where every representative everywhere province by come for participate under 14 UMI Play Championship that by achieved by hosting. That's the idea of hosting these under 14 events.
Mr. Siovi also announced that the Guadalcanal Football Association is looking forward to hosting the Guadalcanal Cup.
And thirdly, we like for make mention for every clubs that after this one there will be a G-Cup. Yeah? There will be a G-Cup, so you have to go back to respective clubs or constituency blue. By me for organizing more this game for hosting last year, which we call him Capital League, but by me for hosting a G-Cup. A G-Cup now by me hold them for September, which is next month. Okay, so what me like for highlighting now is that you go back to prepare for G-Cup again, yeah.
Yan Kao Kui for SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.